Millions of Americans are facing a serious air quality emergency. This urgent situation is due to massive wildfires burning across Canada. Smoke from these fires is drifting south, blanketing numerous U.S. states with a toxic haze. Officials are sounding the alarm, urging residents in affected areas to take immediate precautions. The primary advice is clear: close your windows now. This simple action can help protect your health. The regions most impacted by this dangerous smoke stretch across the upper Midwest. States like Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin are seeing significant air quality degradation. Alerts have been issued, warning of unhealthy air for everyone, not just sensitive groups. Meteorologists predict the smoke plume will continue to spread, potentially reaching further into the plains and even towards the East Coast. This is a developing situation, and residents need to stay informed about the latest advisories in their local areas. People are being told to limit their time outdoors. Strenuous physical activity outside should be avoided. It is also important not to add to the existing air pollution. Limiting vehicle use can also make a difference. The air you breathe is vital, and protecting its quality and your lungs is paramount during this emergency. Heeding these warnings is essential for safeguarding public health. The current air quality emergency in the United States stems from a dire situation in Canada. Numerous large and aggressive wildfires are actively burning. These fires stretch from British Columbia in the west to Saskatchewan and Manitoba in the central provinces. The scale of these blazes is immense, consuming vast tracts of forest and land. This is not just a local problem for Canada. The smoke generated has far-reaching consequences. More than 160 wildfires are raging across Canada. These fires have already burned over 1.6 million acres of land. The devastation is widespread, forcing thousands of people from their homes. Over 17,000 individuals have been evacuated to escape the encroaching flames and thick smoke. The fires are proving difficult to contain. The province of Manitoba is facing a particularly critical situation. A state of emergency was declared there on Wednesday, May 28. Manitoba's premier, Wab Kinew, described it as potentially the largest evacuation Manitoba will have seen in most people's living memory. The province has requested military assistance to battle the fires and support affected communities. Natural Resources Canada has issued a grim forecast. They predict above-average fire seasons for Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia in 2025. The acrid smoke from Canada's wildfires is not respecting international borders. It has drifted south, triggering air quality alerts across several U.S. states. As of Friday, May 30th and Saturday, May 31st, 2025, the impact is being keenly felt. Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin have all issued alerts. These warnings highlight the potential for air quality to reach levels considered unhealthy for all. This is a serious concern for millions of residents in these states. Meteorologists are tracking the smoke's trajectory closely. Forecasts indicate that the smoke will blanket parts of North Dakota and Illinois. The heaviest concentrations of smoke are expected over the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Iowa on Saturday. Minnesota's Arrowhead region in particular experienced the poorest air quality in the entire nation on Friday morning. Officials warned that conditions there could deteriorate further over the weekend. Numerous cities are likely to see noticeable and potentially thick smoke. These include Fargo, North Dakota, Minneapolis and Duluth in Minnesota, and Green Bay and Milwaukee in Wisconsin. The smoke is also anticipated to affect Chicago, Illinois. It could even reach as far south and east as Detroit, Michigan, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Residents across a vast portion of the United States are being advised to monitor local air quality reports. Understanding how wildfire smoke travels helps explain its widespread impact. AccuWeather meteorologist Brandon Buckingham notes that much of the time, the smoke will be high-flying. This means it travels in the upper levels of the atmosphere. When smoke is at these altitudes, it can dim the sun, often leading to vividly colored sunrises and sunsets. The sky may take on a generally hazy appearance. This high-altitude smoke can cover vast distances. However, the smoke does not always stay aloft. It can, and often does, reach lower levels of the atmosphere. When this happens, it directly affects visibility and air quality at ground level. This is when the most significant health concerns arise. Reduced visibility can also pose safety concerns for travel, particularly for drivers in aviation. The descent of smoke to ground level is influenced by various meteorological factors. These include wind patterns, atmospheric pressure systems, and temperature inversions. The current weather patterns are facilitating the southward transport of smoke from Canada. Wind currents are acting like a conveyor belt, carrying the particulate matter and pollutants across the border and deep into the United States. The extent and concentration of smoke at ground level can vary significantly from one location to another. This variability makes it essential for people to stay updated with real-time air quality information. Section 5. Invisible threat. The health dangers lurking in the air. Wildfire smoke is far more than just an inconvenience that obscures the sky. It is a complex mixture of gases and fine particles. These particles are released when wood and other organic materials burn. The fine particles, often referred to as PM 2.5, are particularly dangerous. They are small enough to be inhaled deep into the lungs. From there, they can even enter the bloodstream. This poses a wide range of health risks. The immediate health effects of smoke exposure can include irritation of the eyes, nose, and throat. People may experience coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. For individuals with pre-existing respiratory conditions, such as asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, wildfire smoke can trigger severe attacks. Those with heart disease are also at increased risk. Exposure can lead to chest pain, palpitations, and even heart attacks. Children, older adults, and pregnant women are considered especially vulnerable groups. Experts emphasize that there is essentially no safe level of exposure to wildfire smoke. Even short-term exposure can have negative health consequences. In Section 6. Taking shelter. Official guidance for staying safe. Health officials recommend closing all windows to prevent toxic smoke from entering homes. This is crucial, especially overnight when smoke levels can rise. Reduce outdoor activities to avoid inhaling polluted air. Use air conditioning set to recirculate mode if possible. Portable air purifiers with HEPA filters can also help. Following these guidelines can protect your health. Section 7. Echoes of 2023. A familiar foe returns. The current air quality crisis, unfolding in late May 2025, brings back unwelcome memories for many. Officials are quick to note that the current situation, while serious, is generally considered less hazardous than the events of June 2023. During that period, Canadian wildfires led to apocalyptic scenes. Skies across the U.S. Northeast turned a disturbing hazy orange. The air quality plummeted to dangerous levels in major metropolitan areas. Canada experienced its worst wildfire season on record in 2023. An unprecedented more than 45 million acres of land were burned. The sheer volume of smoke generated was immense. It blanketed huge swaths of the United States from the Northeast all the way to the Great Lakes. Cities like New York City were particularly hard hit. At one point, New York City experienced the most unhealthy air quality of any major city globally due to the dense wildfire smoke. The event served as a stark wake-up call. While the 2025 smoke event may not yet match the peak severity of 2023 in all areas, it is a potent reminder. The lessons learned from 2023 about preparedness, public health messaging, and the dangers of smoke exposure remain highly relevant. Section 8. The long reach of smoke-lasting health impacts. While immediate discomfort like coughing and eye irritation is common, the health impacts of wildfire smoke extend far beyond these acute symptoms. A growing body of scientific research shows that exposure to wildfire smoke can have serious long-term adverse effects. These impacts primarily target the heart and lungs. The fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, is a key culprit. It can lodge deep within lung tissue and even enter the bloodstream, causing inflammation and damage over time. Studies have linked wildfire smoke exposure to an increased risk of stroke. It can also negatively impact brain function. The tiny particles can cross the blood-brain barrier, potentially contributing to cognitive decline and other neurological issues. Experts are clear on one point. There is no truly safe level of exposure to wildfire smoke. Even if you don't feel immediate effects, repeated or prolonged exposure can contribute to chronic health conditions down the line. The increasing frequency and intensity of wildfire seasons, driven by climate change, mean that more people are being exposed more often. This raises significant public health concerns for the future. Section 9. Conclusion: facing a smoky future with vigilance. The current air quality emergency gripping parts of the United States is a stark reminder of our interconnected environment. Wildfires in Canada can directly impact the air millions of Americans breathe. Close windows, limit outdoor exposure, and use air filtration to mitigate health risks. Stay informed through official channels, as events can develop rapidly. The severe wildfire smoke events of 2023 serve as a warning. The underlying causes and potential consequences share common threads. Long-term health impacts of wildfire smoke are a growing concern. Recent wildfire seasons underscore a disturbing trend. Warm, dry conditions, intensified by climate change, create environments more susceptible to wildfires. Predictions suggest air quality emergencies may become more frequent. Addressing climate change and forest management is crucial for long-term solutions. Individual and community preparedness is key.